Volvo are a company who have established their reputation on safety and reliability. So it may come as some surprise that the latest Volvo is a genuine sports coupe. A man who should know is Derek Bell, the world sports car champion who drives a Porsche both on the racetrack and on the road. Derek, if we can persuade you to swap that Porsche for a few minutes, your initial impressions here of the 480 ES?
Well, I think it's superb, you know. They've such a departure from the old Volvo more sedate image. I think it's super to see a sporty look car coming out from them.
Yes, they've gone for this sporty appeal. Do you think they've brought it off?
I think so, certainly, yes. I haven't driven it yet, but there's lots of fresh innovations in the car, and I can't wait to see what they're like.
Right, sporty look. Let's also see if it's got that sporty appeal behind the wheel. You're the man to find out. Out of interest, what was the last Volvo that you drove?
Believe it or not, my father had a P1800, which was, I guess, some 15 years ago now. But it was an amazing little car. Well, in fact, it was quite a big car, but it had a little engine. And I felt that it always should have had a bigger engine in it. I think it would have been quite a substantial impact on the market if it had.
Anything of the same exhilaration in this, but sum up the performance and the handling for us.
Well, it's quite a lot different, this, you know. I mean, we've now got a car that is away from the normal breed of Volvos, and we've got a sporty type car, which I think is very nice. Volvo certainly need it, and I think the market can stand it, to be honest. The Volvo, of course, do everything correctly, at least I believe they do. We have a car that has got very good road holding. I mean, through these sharp sort of lefts and rights through here, the car handles really very, very well. And of course, you've got a super little gearbox. It's a very quick gearbox. And if I remember correctly, even the P1800 had a very fast gearbox. But this is so nice, and it's a stocky little gear lever, and it really whacks with the gears.
Front-wheel drive, which is a new direction for Volvo.
Yes, front-wheel drive is something that has certainly been the trend over the last few years. Volvo haven't got into it. This is the first time they've come into it. And they've really made it work. And you hardly actually detect that it was a front-wheel drive, whereas most of the cars, you can always sort of think, oh, that's funny. And around these corners here that we're going around now, when I'm going really fast, I can actually feel the car, when I back off the throttle because I get in a spot of bother, the car doesn't actually deflect from its trajectory at all. I've enjoyed driving it very much, and I'm sure when people get them on the roads, you know, I mean, to me, a car that handles well on a racetrack is going to handle it really very, very extremely well when it gets on the road. Absolutely. So I'm looking forward to having a drive on the real road.
But for the full story on the 480, you need to look underneath the skin as well. The chassis is true Volvo. There's the classic safety cage with impact-absorbing crumple zones. There's a roll bar in the roof, and at the sides there are 2 impact bars in each door. Power is provided by a 1.7-litre fuel-injected engine specially developed to produce 109 brake horsepower through a very flat torque curve. That means that 90% of the maximum torque is available all the way from 2,000 to 6,000 RPM. Road tests show a maximum speed of 120 miles an hour. And thanks to the 5-speed manual gearbox, there's excellent mid-range acceleration and a 0 to 60 figure of just over 9 seconds. Front suspension boasts McPherson struts. And at the rear, there's a beam axle, which ensures a constant track at all times. Power steering is standard, as are all-round disc brakes. But what impresses most is the 480's self-correcting front suspension. Front-wheel drive cars have a tendency to understeer, but on the 480, the front suspension is mounted on deformable rubber bushes. Cornering forces act on these bushes to adjust the toe-in of the front wheels automatically. So even if you back off the power going into a fast corner, the handling remains neutral and vice-free. On the outside, the new sports hatch has many overtones of its 1800 ES predecessor, but it's very much a car of the future. Pop-up headlamps, a large glass area, and very little bright work. But the real test of any car is how all the elements come together. So I joined Volvo's dealers who had come to Donington Park Race Circuit to try the car for themselves. These are the people who are closest to knowing what the customer is looking for. I caught a number of them as they returned to the pits. It's taken more than 4 years to conceive, develop and produce the 480. The big question, has Volvo got the formula right?
The layout of the car, the driving position, everything, very comfortable, very excited, can't wait to get it in the showroom.
I think it's a fabulous car. We've been looking forward to it for some time now, and I'm delighted to say that it's come through just as good as I expected it to.
This is a modern, stylish, good-performing, excellent handling car, but it has all the traditional Volvo virtues. I mean, it has to be a winner. It's, I think, going to take us into new markets, younger people. There's some strong competition out there, but with Volvo's name, it should be a real success.
Supercar, plenty of power, very comfortable, very impressed with the way Volvo have put the front-wheel drive into it. I think they've done a really good job on it.
The main thing about it is it's so deceptive. Much more room than I anticipated. And if you look at the car, you wonder where all the room comes from.
That's the thing that amazed me, that it's so kind to the driver.
As soon as you get behind the wheel, you're at home with the car. No two ways about it. It's really a driver's car.
There's certainly room for a market sporty image, and I think Volvo have achieved that.
I think it fits very nicely. I'm looking forward to having some of them, being able to sell them.
This is a really nice addition to the range. It's super. I'm going to have one.
It's a very quick, very responsive, very pleasing car to drive.
Superb, really is superb.
I'm really looking forward to getting it in the showroom.
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Very impressive indeed.
It's superb, absolutely superb. You can't believe that you can have a car as compact as that, as quiet as that, that will hold the road like that. It is just out of this world.
So there you have it, the unanimously enthusiastic verdict on the new Volvo 480 ES. Like everyone here today, I've enjoyed driving it, and I hope you do too.